Yeah. There we go. It's fucking sick. It's sending data. Boom. Streaming. Let's go. All right. Uh yeah, thanks man. Thanks dude. We got 0 people tuning in. So far. This is the first one. Um so welcome to the first step of my streaming career, Avery. Um All right. What's the YouTube it's on? Is it on Full Time Dragon? No, it's under webinars for business. So how do I? Let me see the link here. Okay, sick. You should have a chat box as well. You see your chat boxes, or I don't know how it works with the restream. You have multiple things going, but yeah, it should be like a window with a box or two, right? Chat. Yeah, yeah. It's on the restream. So it's trippy how it's a little bit behind. But anyway, I guess that's to be expected. I'll text you the link. Cool. We got somebody tuning in. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. Appreciate you. Sweet. Welcome everybody. Today I got to first off, I'm going to be sending a link to everybody that's requested access to join. And there has to be a more efficient way to do this. This is like my first time. This is my first time doing this. So I had some technical difficulties getting this set up even to where it wasn't even working on the it wasn't even really working that well. We got 3 people tuning in. Let's go. Thanks for hopping on, everybody. Our agenda for today is number 1, shit on Microsoft. Just kidding, not really. But so let's dive into it. So there's a couple things that you have to understand for what we're working on, and I'm gonna stop streaming myself. Streaming here, Jesus Christ, we're in shambles, chat. We're in shambles. No, but the first thing that you have to understand when it comes to building agents is, number 1, we don't want to just like sit on a beach somewhere, right? Like we think like, there's a lot of marketers out there talking about how like, hey guys, yeah, we can just we can just build fully autonomous workflows, and then there's going to be no more jobs, and everybody's cooked, right? There's a lot of that. There's way too much of that going around by people that don't know the technology nor study history. And so if you've been paying attention, and if you've been paying attention to the actual like each industrial revolution or internet revolution, etc., there's a lot of discomfort and there's a lot of change. Yes, but it's in the industrial revolution. Before, you had people farming with ox carts, and in a year, one person could farm 10 acres. Then what happened when the tractor came out? That same person could farm 100 acres. And it's the same jump that we're seeing here, to where instead of one person being able to manage 50 accounts or service 50 accounts, they're going to be able to service 500 accounts. Like this is the same magnitude of efficiency that we are going to see. So for those of you that are tuning in, the most important thing that you have to understand is this workflow. And a friend of mine, so somebody that I've been working with on a project, just gave this talk in Paris at a conference. And this is actually the right way to think about this, because when you think about this, you're going to be winning the AI race. right? If you have this assumption, if you operate with this mental model in mind, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Where you have an agent doing the work, and then you have a way to test and audit the agent's performance, and then you have a QA person that then hands that off to another agent that continues the workflow. Because a lot of people, and if you watch Hormozy, you've seen him talk about this, the way to think about AI is that instead of thinking about humans executing workflows, you now just have the workflows themselves. And that is one of the assumptions that goes into this. Now, before I get into actually building out the agents, like, you have to understand this. So I am going to get into the technical part of this, and this is just going to be a pure value stream. Like, I have nothing to sell you guys on this. This is just us doing cool shit together. So give me a 1 in the chat if you're with me. Now, the other thing that you have to understand as part of this is that, the other problem the problem with people using chatbots is that you talk to Claude, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of this today. So, guilty as charged, but a lot of people using chatbots, they'll talk to Claude, and then you'll get an output, you'll play around with it, and then you talk to Claude again, or then you put it into Claude, and then you get another output, and then you put that into another tool, and then so on and so forth, so on and so forth. If you're still doing that, this is the wrong way to build your workflows. This is the wrong way to go about doing it, because you still have a human in the loop at every single step of the process. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that in 2026. So for those of you that, what are we actually going to be building today? Number one, we are going to be working on a really specific part of a YouTube content workflow and a series of agents. So everything in green here is built. Everything in blue is in progress. Everything in red is in the pipeline to build. So we have our pre-production process where, the ideation and the actual ideation and strategy agent, like the first strategy agent, isn't built yet. But we do have our scripting agents built, and there's an individual agent that works at each step of the process. Excuse me, chat. And the reason why we do that is because you don't want to have like a mega prompt or like just massive amount of context. You're going to get shittier outputs that way. So what you want to have instead is you want to have prompts that max out at, like 200 lines of text. And so here in our pre-production agent or our scripting agent team, first we have a defined video concept that's actually loaded from ClickUp. Like, this part's built, but right now it's just, I put it in ClickUp and say, here's what I want to build. Here's the video idea, and then boom, it scripts it out. And just to show you what it produced, it's pretty freaking good. Pretty fucking good. So now, while I'm on this, I want to talk about how, briefly, just, you hear a lot of marketers, a lot of fucking people that have no idea about the technology, that think, they're still on the early part of the hype cycle. No. You have a bunch of motherfuckers that are up here, and if you mind cursing, you're in the wrong place. So you don't need to be on the stream. So the Gartner hype cycle, you have a lot of people still here. Think, oh yeah, we're going to live in a fully autonomous future. There's going to be no jobs. And then, there's the doomers on that think, there's going to be this permanent underclass of society. And if you're not early on the ARS, then you're fucked. Well, yes and no. If you're not early, you're fucked, but not in the way that they want to make it out to seem. And you have to get to here as quickly as possible. And so everything that I talked about how you actually build agents, is how do you get to this of what are the real implications of the technology, and getting to the plateau of productivity as quickly as possible. If you're here, congratulations. You're taking the right step towards a better future for you and your family. You're welcome. So, but let's getting back to while I have the outputs. So this is actually a script that I'm going to be recording later today. And look, yes, it's a wall of text. So sorry to make you guys look at this. Probably going to be a few people jumping off, but it's pretty good. So you can see here, there's the hook where it takes the viral direction as part of this. And then, right, we look at the viral direct. So it takes the defined video concepts from ClickUp, and then it looks at viral direction, merges that with a prompt, and then I have the script architect agent then take the direction and then put together a strategy, like a full YouTube video strategy based on everything that's inside of ClickUp. So let me show you guys. This. I'm giving you guys a sauce right now and ClickUp's awesome because, you know, the founders of ClickUp thought ahead. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but the fact that they have such a well-structured database that's so easy to look up information means that they're, as far as SaaS goes for the YouTube age, and like the other thing too is that there's no fucking way I'm ever changing the project management system, because the value, like the expected value of changing a project management system is just a total waste of time. Like the impact on profit and revenue is negligible unless, you know, we're talking about billions, you know, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and you actually want to manage the efficiency. And if you're there, well, you can go back to your fancy Microsoft world, because we're in SMB world where you eat what you kill, and you know, you get paid what you kill. I was trying to think of a more eloquent way to say that, but anyway, so here are, you know, core angle of what is it that we actually want to sell. Like this is the content direction, and then the proof. This is very important, because if you don't give the AI anchoring in concrete reality and facts, then it's going to make up a whole bunch of shit and data. Now, we also connected this to a business brain, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but this is like the most important project, chat, for you in this new age, is you have to build out the data architecture for your company. What does this really mean? It means you have to have everything defined in a way where AI can look at your data and you can feed it with context. And so ClickUp is a way to do this. It has a lot of our operational data, a lot of our project management data, and you can create structured fields, which give AI a structured database to look at and pull data from. So you can see here, the most important thing is how long do we want the video? So the YouTube strategist agent pulls this, and then the YouTube strategy agent pulls this, and then that's how long it makes the script. And then proof point, like I've spent millions of dollars on paid ads and helped multiple B2B lawyers crack webinar funnels. Industry type, so that it knows what to look at. It knows where to look for what's trending. And so all that context is then fed into this, where it actually gets a pretty good output. So the other thing that's important to this, right? And again, I'm sorry to keep showing you this because it's hard to look at. It's hard for me to look at. Is the point is that it gives a prompt in and of itself. It gives a prompt, and then it gives all these other then scripting agents the context of what it is that they need to script. And then everything here is then pushed into Supabase, which is like a fancy spreadsheet. Now, if you guys want to build along with me today, then I'm gonna get into that, but I want to give you some context of the overall build and what it is that I'm actually working on. So everything is here stored in Supabase. All the outputs to this So we have the talking head, and then which is the hook and the open loop. Then we have the body, which is like section 1, section 2, section 3. And then we have the call to action halfway through the video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it actually drafts the call to action midway through section 1. And then there's the close, which is another call to action. And then once it's done, it pushes it back into ClickUp. And then all this information gets stored in a Supabase. Now, the next thing, and if you want to make your system smarter and smarter over time, here's what you need to do. You need to have a way to give the system feedback. Now, for those of you who have used Claude Code, I'm sure you've seen like, hey, how's Claude Code doing today? Bad, good, okay, great. 1 to 4 scale. That's how the AI labs train their models to get better outputs over time, is they're giving it feedback. And so you have to have a structured way to do that. Now, I haven't built the form yet and to push it from ClickUp to make that to then push it into Supabase. So I'm doing everything manually on the command line interface inside of Claude Code to just push it and what it looks like. So let me show you guys what this looks like. So I still haven't figured out the cybersecurity of this. So hopefully streaming this, I'm not getting fucked. But YOLO, guys. We do it for the vibes and do it to give value. So here's what this looks like. So verdict. I give it a form, I submit the form, and I say, all right, this is good. This needs edits. No, it didn't. It's just like shit. It's not good. And then what part of it failed? Like which one of these outputs wasn't good? And then what is the feedback? Like what is the actual, why isn't it good? And then what does good look like? And so here I have where all the trending research, where it saves the information. And then here's the full-on video scripts. And then the performance as well. This is just a database for, this is like part of the future build where I'm going to connect, and this is going to be for a video for another day because we're not going to get into it today. But the performance from YouTube, as well as like the click-through rates to be able to give feedback on the thumbnails, and how well the thumbnails are or how good the thumbnails are, and then also how good the videos are. It's all going to be fed into here. So the model and this system, like this YouTube production agent system, because there's multiple agents, are going to get smarter and smarter over time, right? There's a scripting agent, there's the thumbnail agent, and then there's also the idea agent, like the visionary agent as part of this. So these are like the big, workflows. Now, the other thing too is, okay, so now where is the human in this, right? And this is probably the most important part, where I step in after the viral direction and see, okay, is this good? Is this shit? Like, is this approved? Is this, and then from here, once the script is actually good, then I review it as well. So for those of you that want to build alongside me today, you're going to need a Claude Pro Max account. You're going to need a Supabase or Render, or like if you're a peasant, Postgres, PG Web. Just kidding. Not really. But if you want to use Postgres, by all means, go for it. I mean, that's like the free version of it, but Supabase is a lot cleaner for reasons. And specifically that it's just way easier to program. It's just way easier to program. And then we're going to be using pixels to build out the thumbnails. So what am I building today? It's going to be Jesus, Scott, you're 17 minutes in this stream and we haven't built anything yet. That's how much that's why the context matters here, guys. So first is we're going to talk to Claude, and we're going to ask it, how to think for us. Just kidding. Not really. We're going to talk to Claude and we're going to have it design the architecture for us. And I'm going to show you exactly the best way that you can get solid outputs from it. And then we're going to tell it where to pull the headlines from Supabase in order to feed Pixels, which is our thumbnail creator. I've already signed up for a pro account on this. So, and I've fed the API into the machine. So it should already know where to find this and how to do things. Now, link to a thumbnail or YouTube video. So upload any thumbnail or drive it here. Okay. So we're going to have to make a decision on what's the best way that we want to feed this. But like I said, who needs thinking in 2026 when we can just have Claude do our thinking for us? Just kidding. You don't want to do that. I mean, I'm kidding, but you don't want to retard Max. Like never retard Max. Sorry. Not sorry. That's what the kids are saying these days. So, all right, Claude, I want you to design the Pixels architecture. You are a master backend architect. You already have context on everything from this conversation. I want you to run through a chain of thought. Actually, I mean, that's one way to prompt it, but we can just actually have it run an expert debate. Run an expert debate instead for how to design out the Pixels architecture. Now, what are our constraints? Run a train. Run a tree of thought for the best way to feed Pixels the right context. My hunch is that if we just pull the YouTube title and we give it pictures from Google Drive, this is the best way to give it context. And then keep in mind that the thumbnail pictures already have a hint for the mood of the video. Now, the other thing that we've done here, I'm not going to go back and scroll, but and find it. But the other thing that we've done here is we've already architected, the video types. So one of the assumptions that I made is that AI is just like way better at being focused. So for example, we have 5 different video types. We have case study breakdown, tier list, case study interview, marketing strategy, and then a wildcard video. That's just purely based on what's going viral and trending right now. And so I've given specific thumbnails or I have specific photos that I've already taken for what this looks like. I already have specific photos for what this looks like saved on Google Drive to I'm just pulling this up for you guys so you see thumbnail photos. Yeah, here. So it's like serious, shocked, curious, serious, confident, concerned. So it already has some of that. Like the Claude, based on the conversation of architecting this system, already knows that. The video and the file name. So I want you to design the Pixels architecture, run an expert debate for how to design out the Pixels architecture, run a tree of thought. This is what we wanted to do. The right context. Key decisions. 1. Best way to feed Pixels through the API. And then I'm assuming it's going to say from Supabase, like from just like the title. And video type from Supabase. And then we also want this to, what's like the best endpoint for where it is that we want to save this? I haven't even thought about that, but ideally it just ships directly to YouTube. And then yeah, I mean, the best thing to do would just be to create a draft in YouTube. Save a copy in Supabase because we wanted to get smarter too. And Supabase can save images. Best place would be to save a copy in Supabase, but upload. Give me jobs in Carmack. For those of you who have experienced back ends, always, the system, Claude always recommends Carmack. The best place would be to save a copy in Supabase, but upload a draft to YouTube. It might be that that's like, version 1 for now. We might just do it the old ghetto way of having a VA upload it. Cool. Now it's doing its thing. Now we can go get some noodles or something and be on our merry way. Now, yeah, data flow, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Do your thing, Claude. So once we get it to, you're about to make the same mistake every engineer makes. I'm going to give the API too much. The file name hint is clever, but it's a crutch. Your persona system is trained correctly to style IDs. Locked per thumbnail should exactly 2 outputs. The title and the video type. Now, it's actually a good idea to read this and understand its reasoning. I see a lot of people just say, I was kidding about that earlier, but about just completely trusting the AI and letting the AI think for you. And, that's one way to do things. And it's definitely faster, but you'll never really understand the back end architecture because what we're doing now, even before we're building out the roads, like we're building out the actual applications for the agents to run. Once we get this to a point where we build this system out, then we're going to build out the agent layer on top of it to then just do the thing. Just say, all right, I want to get this. I want to ship out this amount of scripts per week, QA those scripts, and then create this many thumbnails, etc. So the file only hints entirely. The file name is not a hint for pixels, but it's for the pipeline. Pixels takes a prompt, persona ID, option style parameters. The prompt is the title. The person is fixed. Style parameter is where the mood lives. The photos in Google Drives. Pipeline needs those file names. Map the mood, the right type of video, pass the correct photo, style. All right, path A, title only. All right. Just going to say, we just really need to know pixels pick the same neutral expression each time, a title, and you have no control over output variance. And this is kind of the tricky thing with these creative projects is like the output variance, like managing this, where there's a balance between having the AI be very specific and tailored, and the more focused it is, generally the higher quality the output. But then if you introduce too much variance, now you're adding a bunch of things to scope, which is just going to blow up the timing and blow up the timeline. So title plus video type, style map, input, browse title, variant, video type from Supabase, pipeline reads video type, style ID passes to style ID, title plus video type, style map. Failure mode, style IDs need to be created in Pixels dashboard first. If style ID is wrong, the output regresses. Pipeline reads hard-coded style ID. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we want. But file download on every run adds latency to Google Drive API calls. It's more expensive. Inline photos more expensive than save file naming convention must be consistent. Do I need to pay Google? It's like, yo, Habibi, give me best price. Build order. Okay, so, all right. Generate, receive CDN URL expires in 24 hours. Step one. All right. I wonder what did it decide? If you upload a YouTube first in your Supabase. I still don't really know what it decided. Path A. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Good old Wana. That means somebody already did the taxonomy work, the pipeline. Nobody is a baseline in photo. Every subsequent run reads the style ID from Supabase. No Google Drive calls at runtime. Just a style ID. Look up from the table. Updated working version. Pipeline scans the file, reads name, extracts the keywords, stores in the Supabase table. Yeah, agreed. I mean, if I don't need to pay, no, yeah, okay, that's what I mean. Like why would I pay for a? I only pay the APIs. I'm already paying for this. Yeah, okay. So I don't know what it was talking about, but I guess it's talking about usage credits. But this is like the full script that I just walked you through. It costs us like 2 cents to do it. YouTube draft upload is a right action with side effects. It fails the thumbnail as it saves to. Okay, so this is probably boring for you guys. So let's make this more interesting. Mood map. Now I'm just gonna give it the file names and say map it to this. Now the tricky thing is though is that now I'm prioritizing you guys on the stream as opposed to like good architecture decisions, which is interesting. So note to self, I'm going to just do this on the front end so we can just come with all the decisions made instead of like talking through the decisions on the stream. So you guys can just see the how to. Let me know if that makes sense for you guys. Hey, Hector, welcome aboard. So, for those of you that are still tuning in, we have serious case study breakdown, shocked case study interview, marketing strategy, tier list, wildcard. You have multiple photos per mood, which is good. Pixels can use all of them as a style for a mood, which increases the variation. The only gap is see here. Things here need to be converted before Pixels can use them. Convert the HRC files to JPEG using Convert Cloud as discussed, then re-upload to Drive. Replacing the versions, the naming convention maps directly to mood map, parse these files directly. Yeah, okay. You have multiple photos per mood, which is good. Pixels can use all of them as a style reference for that mood. Yeah, okay. All right. More importantly, we still have a couple outstanding decisions here. So architecture decisions, so new Supabase table. Yeah, all right. Well, alter table, new column after constant pixel styles. Let's double check that, but yeah, that holds up. That makes sense. Thumbnail save sequence. Save sequence. All right, save copy to Google Drive. Save uploads to content, sub thumbnail URD, CND URL, or local path, where ID, video UID. This is a system of record. Download immediately. Fetch the PNG from CND URL. Push to click up. So step 1, call Pixels API, receive Canadian URL, version checked. Test path A first, the natural persona. No, I just title only, browse variants from super base pixel, reads the title, pixel expression. Okay, yeah, pixels, pick the same neutral expression every time. Output variants. Okay, should be fine. That's what I think. That's what output path A and path C seem quite similar. I mean, excuse me. Well, the difference really is this is a lot of this stuff is like when you're actually designing it. And this is what I realized yesterday is I question my sanity a lot over the amount of time it takes to like vibe code things. And it's much better to just delegate this, delegate the build outs for it, and then focus on what's actually moving the needle, like what we're doing now, which is content, and getting eyeballs and trust. So step 1, generate, call Pixels API, download immediately, fetch PNG, save to local output folder, save to Supabase. All right. I'm going to have to go to Pixels and write the CND URL. So we need to call the API. All right. Please give me the prompt for the Claude CLI. I've already added the Pixels API into the .nv file. So let's run a test. It's already perfect for the pipeline. Here's what I can read for this. Yeah, so I'm definitely not going to do this on the stream because it's going to be super boring. But the next steps here is going to be to connect the Pixels API, download immediately, fetch a PNG from, save to the local output folder, save to Supabase, content videos, set thumbnail URL, URL or local path where ID is video. Step 4, save to Google to upload the PNGs. Date, return a permanent, upload content, set thumbnail, drive URL. It's human readable copy. This does not expire. Like to see the URL, push to click up. Thumbnail custom field, yeah. So this is actually great that Claude remembered this part of the architecture because we have this also in the thumbnail URL here. So diving into this, the attach the YouTube drafter for gate 2 only runs after your gate 2 only runs after reviewer approves thumbnail, and click up by removing the status into edit. YouTube draft upload happens here. Thumbnail attached to draft. This is a gate 3 setup. Yeah, all right. So now that we have the prompt, we're going to jump onto a CLI and then have it do its thing. Insufficient credits. Your API balance is too low for this request. Failure mode is insufficient credits, meaning the account balance needs to be topped up before the thumbnail generation will work. Interesting. Well, I paid for a premium account, so unlock. All right. Skip trial and pay. Fair enough. Done. Your subscription is now active. Great. Redirecting you to the Pixels web app. Try again. Still insufficient is working fine, but the account is out of credits. Huh. Why? It says API key is working fine, but the account is out of credits. You need to top up the pixel balance before the thumbnail. Well, great, guys. Now we get into some troubleshooting. It's like, this streaming experiment, it may or may not work. I mean, it's more to be educational and entertaining, and so far, I mean, the troubleshooting is I would never probably watch this if I were you guys. Insufficient credits. That's so weird. I don't. And let's see. Well, we got shut down before we even really got started. So I'm gonna mute this. You don't want that. API credit usage is not working. How can I contact again? I don't know why that's so weird. Anyway, that's on me though. For either way, we'll figure it out. Still insufficient credits. Your API balance is too low for this request. Anyway, we'll talk to Claude and we'll see what it says. I have a premium account, but I'm getting this message. Very fun, guys. Very fun. This is like the swamp of vibe coding. Credit balance. Premium gives you, but they've not been applied to your account or was just upgraded or billing was not yet processed. Huh. Do not spend time debugging this and the integration is correct as a billing. If both look correct. Well, it's saying that I'm afraid I don't have information on this insight. Sure, create a support ticket. Kind of funny, but anyway, I don't know why this is. It appears that the credits just haven't been applied yet. Plans, premium, all generations made private, personas. Support 3,000 credits increases monthly edits. Prompt the thumbnail, pixel subscriptions. How many credits do I need? This is kind of this is exactly the Kayvon in the building. Let's go. Here, let me go back to find out the cost per request. You need to check the price. Jesus. All right. All right, guys. We're in shambles here. We are in shambles. But to find out the cost per request, you need to check out the Pixel dashboard on their pricing/doc page. All right, guys. I don't know why. So, all right. We're getting shut down here. I only came on to stream for an hour today. So we're coming up on the top of the hour to ship this. I'm going to be having and the error request doesn't include that detail. It only returns the error code and message with no credit requirement specified. To find out the cost per credit, you need to check the Pixels dashboard on their pricing/docs page. All right, so credits balance. Well, yeah, guys, we're getting kind of stopped in our tracks here, and we kind of need to wait until this billing issue sorts itself out for us to proceed. So, for the API, but in summary, we made a couple architecture decisions, so that was productive. It took us about an hour to get there, but anyway, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it to share the context with you guys. And then, we're going to have to create a Supabase table in order to, in order to be able to get feedback on the thumbnails themselves and give the system feedback on the thumbnails themselves. Then, we also have our project map for the steps that we need to take. So, we will circle back and check in later, follow up with Pixels once this billing issue is sorted. But this API question shouldn't even really be a question. But I'm gonna go check in the docs and see what the actual issue is to troubleshoot this. And I trust you guys have better uses of your time than watching me troubleshoot this. So anyway, note it for the future, because I want to make this live stream, guys. This is going to be a weekly recurring thing on Saturdays at 11, and so I want to make this the most value added use of time for you guys. So in order to do that, number one, going forward, going to make the key architecture decisions and then just, execute it. Summarize the architecture decisions at the kickoff of the stream and then just focus on executing it, because that's probably the most fun and interesting thing for you guys to tune into. But also let me know, give me feedback. I want this to be the best use of executive time. My jokes and probably poor taste and humor for many of you aside is let me know. I mean, let me know how I can make this stream the best use of time and something that you guys can feel good about referring other people to. Because this is ultimately how I can grow this and build this into something that has real impact for other founders and other entrepreneurs and other people learning these systems. So that said, everybody, signing off, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.